It's that time of year again, where our immunity is really being tested. I have to feel 100% in order to run my weekly podcast, fulfill deliverables for my clients and partners, manage my household, and take care of my family of 5. So believe me, I take my health seriously and take all the measures I can to feel my best. Sambucol was developed by a virologist and is a dietary supplement that provides powerful immune support fueled by nature's superfruit, black elderberry. Black elderberries are a natural source of vitamin A, C, and E, and contain antioxidants that may help fight free radicals. The gummies and syrup have a delicious berry flavor and are easy to incorporate into my daily wellness routine. They're dairy, egg, gluten, nut, soy, and wheat-free, vegan and vegetarian friendly, and they do not have any artificial colors, flavors, or sweeteners. Visit sambucolusa.com, and that's spelled SAMBUCOL USA.com, and use my code MOMSENSE15 to receive 15% off your order of $9.99 or more. This offer is valid for U.S. customers only. Sometimes parents need a little reminder that our health comes first, and Sambucol can help.
My clients who are coming to me at 38, 39, they want to have kids. Time is running out for them, and they would really like not to experiment and do trial and error and hope organically their husband shows up in 3 or 4 years, right? So I think if you want to speed up the manifestation, and let's also look at that statistic you quoted right at the start, that almost 60% women are not dating, single women are not dating. And I think it's just all the bad experiences we collect and all the resentment and heartbreak that collects. And you need to hire a coach. You need to hire a professional. You need to release and burn that past. You need to get excited about your future. You need to keep that love, that grand story as your vision in front of you. And you need to go ahead and recommit to that desire. And you need to make it happen and manifest it.
Hi there, it's Kanika. Get ready for another season of That's Total Mom Sense, where I interview global thought leaders on their life stories, the legacy they're passing on to their kids, and of course, their mom sense and dad sense superpower.
It's me, Bobby Brown. Can't wait to share my story.
Hey, I'm Daphne Oz.
Hi, I'm Shani Darden.
Hi, this is Chriselle Lynn.
Hi, I'm Bhavna Shyamalan.
Hi, this is Tony Leroy.
Hi, I'm Shannon Lee.
Hi, I'm Farnoosh Tarabi.
Hi, this is Michael Perry, founder of Maple, and you're listening to me on That's Total Mom Sense.
It's our mission to be inclusive, so we're having dads pull up a seat at the table. Tune in to my new monthly segment, What Matters Most with Maple, featuring my co-host, Michael Perry, tech founder and devoted father of 2. Thank you to my brand partners, community, and you, yes, you, for making this podcast possible. Episodes release every Thursday. Join my tribe by logging on to thatstotalmomsense.com and subscribe wherever you listen so you never miss an episode. Dating in the modern age isn't as exciting as one would expect. In fact, it can be pretty painful. Swipe right, swipe left, shake my head. Today, I'm bringing on a global relationship coach who can help high-achieving women find the perfect partner for them, whether it be millennials trying to avoid Mr. or Mrs. Wrong, women in their 30s and 40s, who want to find their lifelong partners, and married couples who just want to reignite the connection that brought them together in the first place. She can help with it all. Here are some interesting stats I came across on a blog called Modern Gentelman. More than 32 million US citizens use dating apps, and the average number of relationships before marriage for men is 6 and 5 for women. 60% of women are not actively dating. I found this to be very, very jarring because I'm sure there are so many women who want to find that ideal partner, and to think that more than half of them have given up, it's really heartbreaking. So let's introduce my guest for today. Sami Wunder. Sami Wunder is a leading international dating and relationship coach who specializes in helping high-achieving women attract and keep romantic love. Her comprehensive approach shows her clients how to embrace strong relationship boundaries while still emanating an inviting feminine energy. Sami has enabled more than 300 plus single clients to get married and more than 350 partnered clients to bring their marriages back from divorce in the past 5 years. Sami founded her multi-seven-figure relationships brand after exiting a successful career as a gold medalist economist with a master's in public policy. Since then, she has improved the love lives of thousands of women, including celebrities, senior executives, and entrepreneurs in over 55 countries across the globe. Her expertise has been featured on media outlets including Forbes, Glamour, Time, Marie Claire, Business Insider, and the BBC. She lives in Germany with her adoring husband, Chris, and their 2 sons. Sami, welcome to the show.
Kanika, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and how that impacted you.
So I come from a small town named Lucknow in the Uttar Pradesh state of India. And I was lucky enough to be sent to a very good school by my parents. My parents were wonderful, loving professors. So we were a very humble home. Mine is not a rags to riches story. There was always enough, and there was enough for every need to be met. And yet luxuries were still far and few in between. And, getting a Barbie doll for your birthday was a really big deal. Like it was, you would wait for it for an entire year. So I was always a great student. I won all the medals, all the awards. And then I actually topped my city at A levels and got into SRCC, which is the Shri Ram College of Commerce in Delhi University, which is India's top college in economics and commerce. And
Incredible. I have to stop you right there because I want you all to know how fierce the competition is in academics in India. By sheer size and population alone, we know this. There's 1 billion, people in the country. But even when you look at the micro level and those who have gone to, certain institutions and schools, it's just grueling, the tuitions you have to take and the studying you have to do. And it's a lot. And for you to have been awarded number 1 and A level is really, really commendable.
Thank you.
Yeah. So then where did you go from there? Because I feel like once you have that, under your belt, the world is your oyster.
Yeah. So, I entered Delhi University, SRCC. I topped again the class of economics in 3rd year. That enabled me to get a full scholarship for my master's. I ended up being in Germany, in Berlin, at the Hertie School of Governance, where, again, I was awarded, as I said, a full scholarship, 60,000 euro plus scholarship for my master's.
Wow.
And I was like, bring it on, Berlin, this is it. Like, I'm going. I have no debt, and this is the reward of my hard work, and I'm going to go have a good time. And to be honest, given the level of pressure and the high academic excellence that is expected at SRCC Delhi University, my master's felt like a cakewalk.
Yes. Oh, I can imagine. What caused you to shift gears and feel like, I have excelled in econ, but it's not my calling?
Yeah, so I don't think it was so apparent to me. I think as an Indian woman, there's a lot of emphasis paid in our society towards survival and like get your job, get your money. Even though economics was never my first love, I was really good at it. I could crack those numbers and get those results. And so I was working with some top consultancy organizations in Europe. I was working for some time in Geneva, Switzerland for the ILO, the International Labor Organization, and also for GIZ. My heart was always craving for something else. It's hard to describe it, but I felt like I had something else to offer to this world. And it was a very subtle feeling inside my belly, which I dared not to express to anyone because, well, I had the best education and I was supposed to walk down on a path that many before me have walked down. And somehow it just didn't feel right in my belly. And I just kept feeling like, God, there's got to be something more in life. And there's got to be a bigger impact I can create. And there's got to be a way where I'm able to feel like the impact I'm creating, I'm able to see that much quicker than, writing a report on social protection for somebody in Africa and then hoping that 6 years later, something I wrote in my desk at ILO gets implemented in Africa. So I was like, I want more, to feel more impact. I want to give my gifts to the world and feel more impact of those gifts. So I would just venture to say that I was never really in real relationships because the men kept fizzling out, ghosting, telling me that I was a great girl, but they weren't feeling it for me. And they loved me, but they were not in love with me, and that they couldn't give me what I wanted. And I was wonderful and maybe someone else deserves me. This was happening while I was in Germany, because in India, I was just, like a bookworm, just like busy studying. But then when I came here for my master's and then I went, traveled all over Europe, worked, I feel really ready for my soulmate. Like, it would be really nice to have a wonderful man share my life with and not do this life alone,
Yeah.
And I think that was very important to me, that I did not want to be just a brainy, successful, high achiever who's not got the other side of life worked out. So I truly believe in that harmony of life and balancing different aspects of life, where work and success is one aspect, but then there's, I wanted to have a family, I wanted to have children, I wanted to have a wonderful man by my side. So that's when, in Germany, when I came, it became a priority for me to, find love, attract love. And that's when all these real, really heartbreaking experiences started to happen, that I would meet men who would expect me to pay for them, just like men who would want the woman to be the strong one, provide everything, men who just wanted to get into your pants, and just like this series of disappointing experiences. And I kept calling the men losers, and I never looked inside myself as to why I was attracting these kind of people and why I was accepting them in my life, instead of getting angry at them.
Right.
I never recognized that I could draw boundaries. I could say no. I could let go of these men who were not a match for me. So I didn't really do any work. And I just kept saying to myself, the husband will just fall into place. He'll fall into my lap. But he didn't. When I finally met a man who I thought was the one, and we had this fantastic connection at all levels. And then 2 months in, he went quiet, and then I didn't hear from him for 10 days. And I had this really dark feeling in my belly. And that feeling in the belly said, it's happening to you again. And something must be really wrong with you that this happens with you again and again and again. I think when that fizzled out, I knew, it was like a big wake up call. And I knew I had to look at this aspect of my life. And if I didn't look at it, I think I realized I was the common denominator through all of this. And I wanted to have the courage to take ownership and say, you know what, this is important to me, and I want to see what I can do about it. And that's what made me dive into studying romantic relationships. And ever since then, there's honestly been no looking back, because I truly believe that our romantic relationships are a mirror to our inner world and how we value ourselves, how we respect ourselves, how we honor ourselves, whether or not we have the courage to speak our truth, to draw our boundaries, and whether or not we have the capacity and the ability to be able to show up in our relationships in a warm, open, feminine energy way versus this masculine, controlling, correcting, combative way that so many of us tend to show up in. At least that was true for me. And when I had all these breakthroughs, I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I'm having all these breakthroughs and lessons so that I can learn and I can do something different. And then, my life changed at a pretty rapid speed. I dated, attracted, and got engaged to Chris, my husband, within 9 months, it wasn't just a man I attracted, I attracted a really healthy relationship where I felt cherished, adored, where there was physical attraction, but there was also mental, emotional attraction, where we really valued each other, where we had similar goals. We both wanted a family. We both believed in marriage. And I remember my German girlfriend saying, oh, German men, you can forget about them. They take years to commit and they can never commit so quickly. And my husband proposed to me within 9 months. So
wow.
It's like it's belief systems. And I think so many women have this belief system that men need to test drive women forever.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want to be test driven forever. I'm a smart, beautiful young woman. And I want a man who knows I'm his forever person, not just his for now person.
Right. And now you have programs where you're helping hundreds of women.
Oh, yes, I absolutely have a game plan. I do teach a lot of strategy, which is totally agreed. Don't talk on the phone like you talk to a buddy, to a man that you want to stay interested in you. Keep the mystery, keep the allure high. Don't accept last minute dates. Don't fall in love the first 10 dates. Like it's very early dating. Like keep your balance, let him make the hard work for you. Yeah. But at the same time, I think I also talk about the spiritual and energetic aspects of soulmate attraction, which is about finding peace with yourself. I call it stay in your own green meadow. Don't leave your peace for a man, regardless of what a man is doing. Always come back into your meadow and always come back into your own peace. And you are the source of that peace within yourself. That's just one example of how, I teach feminine energy. And then I also talk a lot about boundaries, which is like these roots that we have down into Mother Earth. And we're solid and we can speak our truth and we can say no. And we're not afraid of upsetting a man. We're not afraid of a man becoming uncomfortable because of our truth and all those kind of sort of queen diva behaviors. So I have a diva brand, and I think it's a mixture of strategy for single women, plus the spiritual aspects and the inner work aspects, which is self-awareness. How am I coming across? Where am I operating from? Is it insecurity? Is it fear? Is it urgency? So that's what this is about.
How do you say we should embrace our feminine energy, where, that's what a man, evolutionarily speaking, is going to find attractive?
Yes, I think understanding polarity between men and women and how that leads to sexual tension in a romantic relationship, and how that is so important, because your romantic relationship, whether you're dating as a single woman or you're married for many years, it's not about being in the same bedroom with a friend or a roommate, right? It's about having that sexual attraction and spark alive. Let's just face it, that is a very important aspect of a romantic relationship.
Sure.
And polarity is what helps you achieve that. And when I say polarity, I mean the presence of two opposite energies, or polar opposite energies, north and south, masculine and feminine, positive and negative, just as an example. That's what polar opposites attract. So what happens for a lot of my high achieving clients, and I've helped thousands of women on the globe by now, is that they tend to be a lot in their masculine. And that's not a bad thing. Masculine is an amazing energy to have. We all have it. Men have it, women have it. And it's nothing to do with our genders. Both men and women have both masculine and feminine energies. But because we are idolizing women's lib and feminism, and women are being told, lean in, ask for the promotion, ask for the raise, go for what you want. These are amazing messages in our careers, and they're really helping us succeed. But when you apply the same energy to your love life, when you show up on a date and you're masculine and you ask the man and you want to pay for yourself, and you show up in the relationship and you're full of solutions and you always want to fix the man and correct him, and you're like this home improvement committee, this is where you start to get a lot in your masculine. And what's going to happen is, if you're single, you're going to attract men who are in their feminine, because polar opposites attract, remember? And the same energies clash. And that's the dilemma I solve, is to show up in your feminine, because when you show up in your feminine, you become a match for an empowered masculine man. That's what he is attracted to.
So what advice do you have for, 20 somethings?
I think if you're dating online, you've got to be very cautious of, time wasters, men who are just wanting a beautiful girl as a pen pal, writing to you, good morning, sunshine, good night, moonshine. And then they never ask you for a real date. So I think you have to be really wary of that. And you have to remember that the only relationship that you can truly count on is one where you've met a man at least 6 to 7 times in person before you can even assume that there is something going on there or there's something you can rely on. So my recommendation would be to not fall into what I call virtual relationships. Don't spend your time chatting with men online, because there are men who will just waste your time, do endless chatting, send me a picture, here's my breakfast, what are you doing, queen? Wow, this is very basic, but I can't tell you the number of really smart women that I work with that have fallen for virtual relationships. And even though there is no real relationship there, when the guy disappears or the guy scams you on your money, the pain is real. The relationship is not real, but the pain is real. And so you've got to be very smart about the way you spend your time. And I give my clients a very simple script, which is, hey, it's been fun chatting with you. I'm not into texting. I much rather prefer face-to-face. And then it's their job to either set a date or leave you alone, because
perfect.
Yeah, you don't have time for wasting.
Hi, listeners. I wanted to take a moment to tell you about a new podcast I've been listening to called Baby or Bust. Fertility doctor and influencer Dr. Laura Shaheen assembles medical experts and former infertility patients to guide anyone who's trying to conceive. Dr. Shaheen and her guests work together to shatter myths around fertility and miscarriages and provide emotional support for everyone's individual journey. Topics include the price for various fertility treatments, how common miscarriages really are, and what affects male infertility, as some examples. And to boot, Dr. Shaheen is a double board-certified reproductive endocrinologist, best-selling author, and professor at the University of Washington. She has spoken on a myriad of topics, including infertility in the Black community, in hopes of increasing awareness and making resources more accessible. So be sure to subscribe to Baby or Bust on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And now, back to the interview.
For, women in their 30s and 40s, so what's your advice for these women?
Honestly, Kanika, I don't work with the 20-somethings. I'm a coach working with 30 plus to, 55, 60-year-old women. And I can tell you that a lot of these women are like your friends. They have resistance to going online. And yet one of the first things I do, without pushing anyone, because I think it still continues to be their life and they can still make their own choices, I invite them to look at the abundance that is available online. And especially with the pandemic, so many available, amazing men are also going online. And so I think we have to be open and be willing to challenge ourselves to get a little uncomfortable. I think online dating apps can have a bad rep. And there is a lot of truth to the fact that there are a lot of scammy and weird guys out there. But the truth is there's also a lot of amazing men out there. Almost 70 to 80% of my clientele, and I have 300 plus success stories in 6 years, are women who found their men online. And I work with CEOs, I work with entrepreneurs, I work with really smart, successful Columbia graduates, Columbia professors, right? Like these are really smart women and they've met their men on, God forbid, Tinder, right? And these are wonderful men. So I think it takes a little bit of discomfort and we have to challenge ourselves. And there is a way to doing online dating that a coach like me is there to teach and show. So I agree that online dating can feel overwhelming, but I also want these women to believe that there are teachers out there, and you can go with anyone who helps you. It doesn't have to be me, but there are ways to navigate online dating that makes it fun, light, easy and not so heavy and overwhelming. Like just the example of the scripts I gave you, it's going to waste time and all the losers and all the scammers will disappear because they're not interested in meeting you in real life, or they're only interested, in having a pen pal or a fuck buddy,
Yeah.
So all of that is going to get minused out. And I think you can organically date, but you have to accept it is so much slower. So much slower. And your time is precious. I mean, my clients who are coming to me at 38, 39, they want to have kids. Time is running out for them, and they would feel like not to experiment and do trial and error and hope organically their husband shows up in 3 or 4 years, right? So I think if you want to speed up the manifestation, and let's also look at that statistic you quoted right at the start, that almost 60% women are not dating, single women are not dating. And I think it's just all the bad experiences we collect and all the resentment and heartbreak that collects. And you need to hire a coach. You need to hire a professional. You need to release and burn that past. You need to get excited about your future. You need to keep that love, that grand story as your vision in front of you. And you need to go ahead and recommit to that desire, and you need to make it happen and manifest it.
So what if the woman is older?
So I'm a big proponent of truth speaking, and I would rather lose a man who doesn't share the same values as me than to keep staying in that relationship and keep trying to make him change, or trying to convince him to do what I want him to do. So the way I would recommend or advise a client who comes to me with this equation is to say, hey, honey, this is important to me, A and B, kids, house, whatever that looks like for you. And I would love if we could come up with a timeline or a plan for this. Yeah. So a committed relationship, you've got to be direct. You've got to be honest with your partner, and you've got to have the courage to, share what you really want, because I think it's a form of immaturity to walk around the house and expect your partner to read your needs and desires. Like you've got to show up as an adult. When we show up in this way where we expect our men to read what is important to us, we are wanting them to relate with us as a parent. Like when I walk around and my son is crying, I'm like, what do you need? Do you need milk? Do you need to, do I need to change your diapers? But this is what relating with a parent-child relationship looks like. And this is not how romantic relationships look like. Romantic relationships are about being authentic and courageous enough to state your desires, of course, in a loving, non-ultimatum kind of way, and not expecting your partner to read you or to mind read you. This is why direct communication, I actually have a program full of feminine energy scripts where I teach women how to talk. It's called Speak to His Heart, because I really believe that us women being honest in our relationships is a gift to our men. Because if we're not honest, we're going to walk around with resentment. We're going to get silently angry. We're going to get passive aggressive in the relationship and take it out on him in different ways.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, girl, just speak your truth lovingly. Just speak your truth lovingly. So this is for committed relationships. I don't think you can use that script in dating. That is going to completely kill the attraction if you're dating and you're like, hey, I want to have kids in a year. Is that
that's like, but maybe that comes off as a masculine energy, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where the person feels, okay, I have to retreat and can't do with this.
Absolutely. And I think it's not just about kids. It could also be for the ring and proposal. So many times when men ask a woman to be their girlfriend, if it's my client, I would say, you should say, okay, but I'm not looking to be a girlfriend forever. I would want to give this a year max. And by then, if you don't know that I'm your forever person, we can have a conversation about it. So it's really as simple as that, dude, I'm not going to be test run for 11 years, right?
Yeah, no. In a live-in relationship with it not going anywhere, no way.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the BBC called me the Get the Ring coach, because I have all these clever strategies to get the ring. And I think some opponents say, oh my God, that sounds so like ultimatum, 1 year. It depends on the energy you're coming from. Some women actually give those ultimatums, and I don't think ultimatums ever work. I think what works is a woman having clarity around what she deserves and not being willing to accept anything below that. And it doesn't have to be a big drama. It doesn't have to be a big scene. It can just be, that's fine if you know I'm not your forever person. I just need to step out of this equation so that I can find my forever person. And I can't think of a single man who's going to let such a gem of a woman go away because she values herself. That's it, because she values herself.
Right. Now on to marriage. Marriage sometimes gets pushed to the back burner. And how do you recommend that we reignite that flame?
Oh my God. I mean, this question is so close to my heart. And thank you for asking it, because I don't think it gets talked about enough. And I think as parents, we very gladly share how much we love our little ones and, how much they mean to us. But there is still some kind of shame and stigma about being able to just say in social media, hey, I'm really tired. Hey, man, like I'm really sleepless. Hey, man, my son again jumped into my bed at night and was talking to me at 3 a.m. and kicking me. Right. Sleep, So if you date the Sami Wunder way, let's just call it, if you date in a high value worthy way, the likelihood that you attract a real partner that you can do real life with is much higher than if you, in the dating phase, make a lot of excuses for men and then just sort of make it happen. And then you will find that in marriage, when these really hard situations arise, when, you're sleepless, tired, breastfeeding, you need help, if you've attracted the right man, it is definitely easier versus the wrong man who is not going to be there for you in these hard situations. Now, in terms of keeping the magic alive, I don't think there's any magic pill that can make the sleeplessness and the tiredness and the stress of just the amount of work that has to be done. I mean, you have 3, I think, right?
Yeah.
So you wake up in the morning. You wake up in the morning and you're already in your masculine, right? Like, where's the bottle? Where's the diaper? And like, don't break that. Don't touch that. Like this is how it starts. So I don't think there is a magic pill that can make all of this disappear. And we probably don't want it to disappear. But what has helped me personally, what has helped my clients is to like take out pockets of romantic time. So I call it magical dates, and, arrange support, get, babysitters, and just go out and wear your red dress and put on your red lipstick and put on perfume and be that woman that he first married. Yes. Be that woman that he first married. And not just for him. Don't do this to win him. Don't do this to, appease him. Do this for you, because you are beyond just a mother. You are a woman. And that is your core essence and your identity. And there is a lot of power in that identity. There is a lot of power in your sensuality. There is a lot of power in you being in touch with your body and with your power as a woman and with your desirability as a woman. So it benefits your marriage, it benefits your relationship, but more than anything, it benefits you. So do this for you. Like, keep that passion, keep that woman in you alive. And if it takes effort, make that effort.
So what, advice or just something you want to share with our listeners can they do this Valentine's Day to change it up and make it special?
Well, I would say love is why we're here, and love is what truly matters. So on this one day, celebrate love. If you're single, celebrate the love you have for yourself. Celebrate getting back on those dating apps. Celebrate, downloading a love coaching program and really studying it and recommitting to your desire for love. And if you're in a relationship, see if you can celebrate what is good in your partner and build some more positive currency. It doesn't have to look fancy, but maybe even just taking a bath in the tub together with some candles lit and raising a toast to each other and thinking about all the good times you've shared. Even if things are not feeling that great and that upbeat, finding that positive, finding what binds us, finding what brought us together in the first place and celebrating that.
So you have 2 young boys. Is there a point in time where you trusted that gut feeling that you spoke about earlier on in our interview, that gut feeling, your mom sense? when it came to your sons?
When my little one, he's 1.5 years old and he's screaming in the background, he was lying awake in bed at night at 2 o'clock, and something in my gut told me he's not well. And children often cry and like they make a drama at night. And so my husband said to me, "Oh, just leave him alone. I don't want to go through this again." I'm like, "No, something's off. It's the way he's crying." And then when we went there, we saw that the duvet was on his face and he was like having this muffled cry. And so I was like, "Oh my God, like, if you would have stayed like this for 20 minutes, something bad would happen." He was so hot and sweaty. So that's just a recent moment where, I trust my instincts and I trust my gut. And when it feels not right, it's not right.
Let's not forget our quote of the day.
Is there a quote that you live by?
There are so many quotes I live by, but I would say the one that is very close to my heart is by Joseph Campbell, that says, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." So this is all about the inner work. My clients are so afraid of going online on dating apps and finding love, and so afraid of men's anger when they draw the boundaries. And I'm like, "Girls, what's the worst that can happen? What are you so afraid of? Just enter that cave, be strong, and you will see it has the treasure you seek, which is the newfound elevated woman that you become because you're facing what you're afraid of, and that reveals your next level person to you, which is what you're going for when you want to attract a man who's a match for you."
Yes. And where can my listeners find you?
Yes, thank you for asking this. Well, you can find me on Google. If you Google my name, Sami Wunder, you just have to get the spelling right, Wunder. Sami Wunder on samiwunder.com. I have a very active Facebook free community called Wunder Divas, which is where I drop a lot of live streams and tips and tricks for healthy relationships. So you're very welcome to join that. And I also have a free gift for your audience, Kanika. It's called The 3 Powerful Secrets to Being in Our Feminine Energy. And it's going to serve and support both single women and women in relationships with a training that I have prepared for them. It's a 50-minute long training, but very, very impactful for the high achieving woman who wants to learn how to embody her feminine side more in her love life, because she's got the masculine side nailed down, but it's the feminine side that is often feeling a little intangible and vague. So this is the free gift I would love to offer your audience as well. And I'm on Instagram as well at Sami Wunder Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and your experience. And this was such a treat. I'm so glad I made a friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me and all your beautiful questions. And I wish all the mamas and ladies watching this that they find the love of their life and they feel nurtured and nourished by that love.
I hope you enjoyed this very special Valentine's Day episode with Sami. I got some great takeaways from her, and I'm sure you did too. I think it's so important that we focus on love, and that starts with ourselves first. So real self-love, feeling worthy and enough and comfortable and confident in your skin is the baseline. And then you can give that much to your significant other. I think it's 2 people, when they enter a relationship, have to come in whole. I disagree with the "you complete me" philosophy. You come in whole to begin with, and you compliment me is more like it. So think about that when you're assessing your own relationship that you may be in now or the one that you're seeking. As Sami mentioned, you can avail your free Date Like a Diva video, and that is going to be linked on my show notes. So when you click on the Sami Wunder episode, you will find it there. And if you want, you can look on her website as well. And that link is Sami Wunder, spelled WUNDER.com/date-like-a-diva. And then there's another one for married people or those in a relationship, which is reignite his love for you. And that's an audio masterclass. That's also going to be included in the show notes under her episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe, rate, and review That's Total Mom Sense. It helps a ton. You can visit my link, thatstotalmomsense.com/iTunes. And that's where you can leave the review. I also have a guide on my website if you need help with leaving the review. And so that's totalmomsense.com, and you'll find that guide there. If you have suggestions for guests that I must have on my show, let me know. Email me at thatstotalmomsense@gmail.com. Remember, always trust your mom sense and dad sense. Stay strong, super parents. I'll see you next time.
That's Total Mom Sense.